There is only one indigenous broadcaster championing the cause for the restoration of Biafra. Biafra Human Rights Radio. Of course, unstoppable and remains the beacon of truth. It has been so since yesterday, and it is today and forever.
course, there was a country, and that country is a reality. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and to some of you, good night, depending on your time zone. This is Radio Biafra Extra, and we are streaming live through Biafra Human Right and Freedom Radio. Of course, the platform is the embodiment of pro-Biafran group, and it is being anchored by Diokpa Uchi Ukafo Mefo. I will want to appreciate every member of the de facto customary government for the enormous sacrifice they are making on behalf of our people. It is headed by Alhaji Asare Dokubo and guided by our sister Rita Anebogo. And of course, it is powered by numerous conscientious individuals, ranging from Dr. Kado, Thomas Obidio Bienu, Uchenna Sibu, Evangelist Bonenfire, Uchenwu Kinkwo, and the host of others too numerous to mention. Mbadike, Joe Maria, just so many. You're highly appreciated. Amongst acknowledged members of the Biafra Nation Alliance, I keep telling you, you were supposed to run, you were supposed to hide, you were supposed to hide. In the midst of this evil, you stood your ground. Defending Biafra on the last outpost, you are highly appreciated. The administrators, the board of trustees, and of course our media department. Udowele, Odiogene, Chukunonso, Agonwanye, Ada Biafra, Okum, Awele, Chokode, and the host of others too numerous to mention. You are all highly appreciated. The way in Sinewa Wajaha Makahu Membu, Mega Huikemekemezozo, you're highly appreciated. But then I give all the praise, all the glory and honor to the Creator who has made the heavens and the earth. He said, I will not share my glory with anyone. And Father, we don't have that intention. We thank you once again because you gave us life, and we must continue pushing hard. And of course, as a people, stiff-necked people, very stubborn people, your people, oh Lord, we've sinned against you in diverse ways. But we humble ourselves before you day in and day out, asking that you allow your mercy to overrule our judgment. Liberate us as a people. Free us, Father, from the bondage of men, from this shackle of evil, that indeed you who understand the true meaning of freedom, that we may be truly free in the end. Thank you, and your name be glorified. You see. This evening, like every other evening, we will go on to our topic, which is titled, Biafra cannot be restored by uprising within. Biafra cannot be restored by uprising within. You know, there is a difference between uprising without, uprising outside, and then uprising inside. But whether it is within or without, the truth is that Biafra cannot be restored in that atmosphere. Dim Chukwu Emeka Odimegwu Chukwu, based on his extensive knowledge, experience regarding world politics, regarding our position as a people, having been involved in every negotiation platform, be it restructure, be it defending your nation, even when it requires that you put your life and all those you love and hold dear at stake, he's been there. And should I say, after exile, he came back home. The same people he left some years, he met them, he observed them. He knew the difference between the generation of 1967 and the generation of today. He walked in between these two generations. And there would have not been any person better to advise us having worked among intellectuals, brilliant men and women, some of the greatest minds, I must tell you, this world has ever known. And then he has worked with our generation, the consumer generation. I wouldn't want to say we are destroyers, but those of my generation, sometimes we need to be ashamed of ourselves. Not because we are failures in ourselves, but because there may be nothing to talk about us after we are gone that can make the next generation to lift their head high in the streets of any country of their abode and then be proud that we are their father. And honestly, we need to check all these things out. And then as far as this project tarries, as far as we continue to agitate for the restoration of Biafra, it may help us to begin to change our ways. You think if the Chukwuemeka Odimegwu was a failure, I will want to identify with him. If he was a criminal, I will want to identify with him. If he was ignorant, naive, selfish, greed and wickedness, I won't even mention his name. But Ojukwu and his generation, they have their weakness, they have their fault. But I tell you, in their weakest moment, the manifestation of their strength is something we cannot be able to comprehend, even in our own generation. He said to us, another war is not necessary. He didn't say another defense, self-defense is not necessary. Another war is not necessary. There are so many reasons why he made that statement. If Nigeria brings war on our doorstep, we will fight and repeat what they have done over and over. And that is if we are ready. But I know they won't do such thing. Of course, we are under military occupation already. He said another war is not necessary. He didn't say self-defense is not necessary. And so we must be able to put both of them, just oppose both of them in order to know our stand, our position. And so if we have to react in the end, we do that adequately. The same Dim Chukwuemeka Odimegwu, like I said, out of extensive knowledge, he reminded us that the foundation of this problem must be visited. And not until we come in terms with these issues. He speaks in idiom, he speaks in complicated language. It is not meant for everybody to understand. It is like when we broadcast on this platform, we don't spell everything out because our friends and enemies alike are listening. Most of them are listening to find fault. Some are listening to understand what is really going on. Some just want to be informed. People listen for so many reasons. And if you have this mindset, some things we open our mouth to see on radio, we will not even dare to see them. And so like our topic suggests this evening, which simply said that Biafra cannot be restored by uprising. During the formation of any organizational structure, there are basic issues that must be considered, which are what led to this formation and the ramification of that very formation. You talk about murders and uprising. People trying to put the laws into their hand, violently trying to make a change, which ordinarily they could be able to improvise and make this change without violence. But then, we must remind ourselves, first of all, that is as we engage the global community, as we engage the Nigerian state regarding the issue of Biafra. Armed struggle, first of all, is not the solution. We are not afraid of war. And if one day this war is brought upon us like as it was in the days of Ojukwu and his men, I tell you, you will understand that indeed we came from the alliance. We are their children. But honestly, It does not worth it, most especially when we have the solution. When we have the solution to liberate ourselves. And then, why would we initiate such process? We are supposed to spend our energy, time, and resources waiting for the inevitable, not orchestrating the same violence on the detriment of our people. Like I said, when there is a formation for any organizational structure, the basic issue that must be addressed is what brought us here, what led to this formation. At this moment, we are Nigeria, and there is no doubt about that. But despite being in Nigeria, we were first Biafrans, and we remain Biafran to this very moment. And then inside Nigeria, you have Oduduwa before they became Nigeria. And inside Nigeria, you have the Arewas before they become Nigeria. And now, if you are sensible enough, you will understand there is no time the Yorubas has wished to leave Nigeria. Not trying to be sentimental. Very soon, Hausa will come and tell you, divide Nigeria, divide Nigeria. But these are just to distract people. They did call for Nigerian breakout. They never loved one Nigeria until they discovered oil. That is when you begin to hear our one Nigeria, our one Nigeria, our one Nigeria. But we have to tell ourselves the truth. Something led us here. And then Awolowo can boldly tell you that the unification of the Nigerian state is like the missing of oil and water. It is not possible. Oil and water cannot blend. No matter how you steer it to make them become one, they will always separate in the end. Is it because of the hatred we have among ourselves? No. At that moment, the only thing I see within the Nigerian state, when Awolowo made this statement, is not hatred. It is jealousy. It is jealousy that gave birth to that very statement. But that jealousy is a very good one, because he made Awolowo at least to say the truth. And at that same era, Ahmadu Bello made it clear. These very strangers, they have incorporated all of us into one country. We must understand that we are not the same. These are aliens. We are not the same with them. We cannot be the same. We must make sure that they are treated like our forefathers' estate. We must work very hard to make life miserable for them. We cannot allow them to have access to government positions and their very destiny. We will not allow them to have control over it. They never loved it. But is it hatred that drove him? No. It is the love for his people that pushed Ahmadu Bello to make that statement. It is the love and of course a bit of jealousy. And now, having pointed out this area, we found oil. We became one Nigeria. And some believe this could work. A lot of our leaders believe this could work. And I will tell you sincerely, Ahmadu Bello believed in a perfect, Tafawa Balewa, an Hausa man, believed in a liberal Nigeria. But they were influenced. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe was ready to travel the length and the breadth of the universe. He needed one Nigeria, even beyond one Nigeria. They become the pioneers of Pan-African movement anywhere in the world. But somewhere along the line, our line of thought are not the same. Chukwuma, Kaduna, and Zogo, having privilege or access to a certain information which has led us to where we are today, fought to preserve the true spirit of one Nigeria. It is misunderstood today. And each time we sit back, we hear people telling you Igbo coup, Chukwumanzogo coup, this coup. I have not seen anybody coming to analyze what led Chukwumanzogo to make that move. He had access to a particular information in a meeting headed or conducted by Tafawa Balewa in London. He could speak Hausa fluently, and so is the rest of them. And all of them, they almost all grew up in Zungeru. All of them from Nnamdi Azikiwe. Not because there was good or oil in Zungeru. That was the headquarters of the colonial master. The headquarters, the heaven of the colonial master. But they loved one Nigeria, I must tell you. And they never wished anybody evil. Maybe somehow a little bit of spirit of domineering, but the desire to be greater, the desire to be better, the desire to achieve, the desire to greatness could not be considered as evil, because that is the fun in the universe. Working very hard to become the best of the best of the best of the best, but not on the expense of any other person. And each time I see that desire within me, that want me to be the best of who I am, I love my Igbo-ness. And I ask for more even in 100 lifetimes. But out of little envy, Amadu Bello told you that anywhere we came, we want to emerge winner. My brother, if you emerge winner, you self emerge loser now. Is there anybody struggling to emerge loser? But it is the same structural formation that gave birth to all this. And I'm just trying to make you understand how we got here. Kaduna was misunderstood. It led to indiscriminate killing of our people. It lasted for 3 or 4 years. It never stopped. Our people were being killed on all fronts. We were not in a war situation. We're not quarreling with anybody, and somebody feels this thing is our people that were killed, and then and so on and so forth. I do not stand to judge any of them. But then Chukwuemeka Odumegwu simply said, let's restructure Nigeria. They faulted it. But Obasanjo allowed the same restructure to happen in Nigeria, dividing the north into two. One side is Islamic law, the other side is a secular law. But we have to lose over 1 million innocent women and children because Ojukwu asked for restructure. A war was brought upon us. Nigeria and her ally did very well. They bombarded Biafra land, from the Egyptians pilot to the Russian, the USS Arrow killers. All of them were in Biafra land. Our brothers in Cameroon blocked the border, and it was here. They said it's no victor, no vanquished. But ever since the end of that war, our life has not remained the same. We try as much as we can to pretend. Maybe somehow we have financial inducement coming from the Nigerian state. And so you are a governor, you are a politician, you are a monarch, and you are under the payroll of the federal government of Nigeria, on the expense of our people. And so you love one Nigeria. And we don't hate one Nigeria. We only ask for a table to be set in place. We must renegotiate Nigeria. This truth cannot be hidden. That is why you have like Minas, you have like Mozob, Bim Mozob, you have BNC, you have Biafra Nation Alliance, of course you have IPOB, and other numerous group. What brought all of us here is a better bargain for our people. Something actually was wrong. And that is why I made us to understand that when it comes to organizational structure, there are basic issues that must be addressed, which is first of all, what led us here? What led us here? Because I see most Biafrans don't even know why we are here. That is why we do some of the things we do, uncalled for. And now we are in Nigerian state after the war. I have traveled from Abuja to Kano, Kaduna, and on that very day, or one of those days, or each of those days, from the distance between Abuja to Kano or Kaduna, it's equivalent to the distance between Abuja to Onitsha, if not more than. It is only in one instance in 3 trips that I saw a police van parking by the highway. And that area is almost farm area. Nobody was living there, nobody lives there. And they were just relaxing, chilling out. And then I cannot believe I have traveled from Osun State all the way to Ilesha, Malete, in Oyo State, and so on, many areas. Lunge, so many areas in Yoruba land. Forget about the Lagos-Asaba road. Ranging from Ojota down to Onitsha Head Bridge. They call it Lagos-Asaba road. The checking point there is for us, our brothers who are into importation and exportation. And then the moment you cross River Niger, and then you will see something that is not okay. Some of you, it's okay, they are giving us security. After all, considering the fact that we are now unknown gunmen and killing our people, we need security. And practically, we are under military occupation. But I'm humble before you intellectuals, because you're going to say, no, it's not true. This is propaganda. You are lying. But a blind man does not need anybody to inform him or her that there is too much sand in the soup. If you know any blind person, give them soup, pour sand inside. That sand will get to a particular level. The blind man will know that you place sand inside that soup. He will know. And so you see, at this stage, there is no superior argument. There is no delicious convention to tell us, oh, it's not so. You see, the federal government, until I see checking point everywhere in the north, where you have Boko Haram, I don't think they should be in Biafra land. You think unknown gunmen and other criminals around are a problem? They're really not. But of course, we have to apply our heart to wisdom. Because if we react now, enemy will take advantage and they will destroy all that is left of us. And then somebody will say, it's not, Nigeria is good, our governors are eating our money, and then we have to blame them. I perfectly agree. I perfectly agree. And then once you begin to ask themselves a question, since the creation of Anambra State, since the creation of Ebonyi State, since the creation of Delta State, does Abia even have international airport? Since the creation of Imo State, how many years, for God's sake, did it take before a local airport is allowed or is commissioned? But you know this. I don't expect you to agree with me. How many years? It's just lately they begin to allow you to build airport, but they are all local airports. PWD in Lagos. It looks like plain workshop in Lagos, but it's okay. At least we have an airport. And then we begin to ask ourselves, are you not aware we are not employed in the military? It didn't start today. I I have dreamt all my life. The moment I left secondary school, my first target was Nigerian Defense Academy. My father did everything humanly possible. And my relative, Sani Sami, there are two Sami. The one that ate Nigerian money is not my brother. But the one that is Sami, among the troops that went to fight India in terms, to fight with India in terms of peacekeeping, he's my uncle. He came back with his two eyes blind. He's from Umunede. Now he has to answer Hausa Fulani name to be admitted into army. The game is always there. And so we need to understand what brought us here in the first place. And so we don't lose sight of focus. I fought very hard to be there. When my father saw the politics, he knew it was a no-go area. And that was the end of that dream. But they are begging Boko Haram inside Nigeria and incorporating them into the Nigerian military. And then if you managed, maybe your father was there, and by culture and tradition of the military, you have easy access there. As from this region, they make you a spokesman. And that is when my people say, you now use your mouth and condemn your own people. You're strategically there anyway. But it's okay. Today there are a cross-section of Biafrans who are agitating. And now they want to initiate violence. But you see, unlike the South, the Southeast don't have federal government present. And so when you see unknown gunmen, another criminal element trying to show civil disobedience, this is not because they want to kill their people. I must tell you that. This is because, number one, they don't have sense. And number two, there is no federal government present to who. If there were federal government present within the Southeast, all this agitation by now we don't conclude the discussion. This discussion has been concluded, agreement reached for a very long time. These are deliberate acts. And so many reasons brought us here. We must not forget them. Any student that lose focus of why they are in school, they become useless in life. They can buy certificate and become first class, whatever, but they lose focus in life. You must remain focused. People of Biafra, what brought us here? Are you still in tune with reality? Or you're sentimentally, maybe emotionally, trying to gravitate to your own loss? In as much as you cannot avoid to forget what brought you here, you cannot remove your eye from the original goal, the main aim, the ramification of that very formation. You cannot remove your eye from it. Why are we here in the first place? So that I make enemy, so that I insult you, so that we abuse you, so that we show we are powerful and we are who we are not? No, it's not part of it. I have longed and I have prayed for the liberation of the people of Biafra. And every day I say, one day in my old age, and I will be in this land Biafra, and I will see my children and grandchildren playing all around my house. And I will be happy that they are no longer Nigeria. They are Biafrans. And then I see where law and order play its normal role in our lives. I see a country where indeed we are brothers. It's almost impossible, but I witness it. I see a country we can call our home. I wonder what somebody from Dubai is coming to do in Nigeria. I wonder why a Chinese man will come to Nigeria. For God's sake, I wonder why American man will have to relocate to come to Nigeria. I wonder why an Indian man will be in Nigeria, except there is something here. In most cases, that which makes money insufficient. If not, they are not coming. But it's not wealth that drives all of them. If you look at within the Biafran territory, some people say Ikwere people don't travel. Ikwere people don't travel. They love to. Most of them do. But let me tell you the truth. What is he traveling for? When everything that would have made him or her to travel is in their community. Why will he travel? Why? And then if for any reason, our brothers and sisters, all of you in diaspora, you are there, it's going to be for a greater purpose. And I tell you, unlike before, every December you are on your way back home. You may not be at home, but you will still be at home. Because every moment of your life, you will understand the implication of your home. We want a very quiet, civilized society. Innovation is encouraged. We are allowed to look into life and beyond the horizon. I don't know how to explain it, but it's possible. It is achievable. And so when we receive insult, when we are challenged, traumatized, blackmailed, character assassinated, when we are lied against, when we go hungry, when we lose everything we have labored for the sake of this cause, and we are not giving up, we are not moved, we are not discouraged, believe me, it's not because we are superhuman. It is because we feast our eyes on the ultimate goal. And so, Biafrans, in the midst of all this shenanigans, don't lose sight of these two things. Imagine if we stop this agitation. The killing, the emasculation, all of them will be magnified. You will see what you have not bargained for. But if in the end we are able to push through this hulu ballow and make it home, wherever you will be, you'll be happy that you stood your ground to the end. And so we must not lose sight of what brought us here. In order not to be distracted by the ideological change that often takes place. In Biafra Restoration Project, it is obvious that we know the reason why the agitation must continue until a positive change are made to address such issue. We are not going anywhere. To create a more perfect state, we must be guided, citing foundational principle that must work as an agent to put an end or to antagonize the very process that has led us to this very agitation. For instance, we fight against the hijackers of governmental official position by the federal government. And then we should ask ourselves, are we doing the same? Honestly, politically, we are being sidelined. But not all of you will agree. But each time you sit back and you say, how do they say it? Igbo presidency, Igbo presidency, Igbo presidency. I've been hearing this for a very long time. I even thought it was somebody's name. From the day I was born, and I have knowledge of what politics is, going from presidential election. I know of Alhaji Shehu Shagari. I know of the rest military men from Olusegun Obasanjo, Sani Abacha, Ibrahim Babangida, Muhammadu Buhari, Shenikon. I knew all of them. But of course, outside the military regime, within any democratic process, just as you are hearing, as you can see manifest in the oncoming presidential election, You see, the highest slogan is Igbo presidency. You must give us Igbo presidency. Igbo presidency or we break away. We no go greet, it's Igbo presidency. But it's not supposed to be so. And that is because some group of Nigerians have perceived that there is a deliberate attack to make sure the Igbo man never gets to the power. Naira. Never allow Igbo man rule again. Naira. But then you don't have proof. It becomes a conspiracy theory. Maybe no evidence. But you perceive something is not right. And you make effort. Igbo presidency must come. Igbo presidency must come. You continue pushing. They hijack our governmental official position. And that are one of the reasons that led us here. But let's ask ourselves a question. Are we doing the hijacking here also? Are we? I'm trying not to be biased this evening. But are we? You hijack everybody. You dominate everybody. You manipulate everybody. You want to control everybody. Are you doing the same thing? We cannot allow ourselves to be distracted. We'll fight against nepotism. Are we not involved in that art? Now let me come down a little bit. If you are a civil engineer, you are involved in a construction work, or you have to work in an environment where they have more labor, manual labor as the case may be. I want you to take a statistic record. Go to any company, for instance, any site headed by Yoruba man, and you will see 90% of the workers there are going to be Yoruba. That is nepotism. Another tribe will only enter there on one condition, and that is you are really an expatriate. Your expertise in the area of your profession is, it cannot be, there is nobody that can match up to you. Is it only Yoruba that does that? You see Hausa. Forget about Atiku issue or Babangida issue or Buhari issue. Go and learn from Adamu Farouk. He said, if I see Hausa eating another Hausa man leg, I will not call him bad again, no. Because they must remain in power. As far as he's their brother, this is nepotism. Let me come back home a little bit. I'm not telling you what they are doing is bad. As a people, it is wonderful. If you study racism and the character of racism, when you relate it to the person that is introducing racism, it's perfect, it's good. It is that mindset and concept that makes people still proud to be racist. The same way, if you look at nepotism from one angle alone, it's okay. Some believe it has to be. So we remain relevant in the areas of discourse. But when it comes to generality or generalizing everybody, it's not good. You come to Akwa Ibom, for instance. Go to any site managed by Akwa Ibom man. I'm telling you, you will not see another. You won't see another tribe there. And now, should I say the Akwa Ibom man way of carrying their people along and the Yoruba way of carrying their people along is evil? No. That is not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, be you Yoruba, be you Hausa, be you Igbo, be you anybody, Efiki, Bibio, Anang, Urobo, Ishekli, be you anybody who actually believe in the concept of one Nigeria. Nepotism must be eliminated. And then if we're fighting for Biafra, are still doing the same thing, where does that lead us? And if I have to go to some of areas where you see this nepotism coming up, for instance, IPOB where we left from. Who is the general overseer? Nnamdi Kanu. Who is the spokesperson? Nnamdi Kanu junior brother. Who is the head of finance? Nnamdi Kanu auntie. Who is the head of emissary? Nnamdi Kanu Kanunta brother. Begin to look at people who handle sensitive position. All of them are related to Nnamdi Kanu. This is nepotism. We cry against it, but we do it here. Biafra cannot be restored by murders and uprising. If you like, draw the whole world, destroy everywhere. But my brother, there are things, little principle, basic foundational rule that must be applied. Once it is done, we are out of here. I never lose confidence in the restoration of Biafra for 1 minute, I must tell you. Because I know if we are humble enough, if we are truthful enough, if we are sincere enough to engage these processes, to initiate this very platform, we will have a quiet, beautiful Biafra. We will have loving neighbor like Yoruba and Hausa, because they will see the errors of their way and they will repent. And then the British government and other people stealing oil and want us to remain inside Nigeria, they will not have to steal this oil. They will not have to. And so when we cry against nepotism, if nepotism is one of the reasons we say we want our own country,